Okay, so to start, what I found interesting about this play was how, even in the kind of the downfall of human civilization as we know it, these individuals and the characters in the play are able to talk about The Simpsons, which is something that's a TV show that's very simple, but obviously brings them joy in such a trying time. So I thought that was pretty interesting that they were able to talk about something so simple and kind of non-stressful. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And values I feel like are being represented in this dramatic world are um, just the importance of human interaction. Um, I feel like that's kind of evident on page 16 when they're talking about Sideshow Bob and Blinky. Like they're kind of confused about which character is which. There's like a little bit of a disconnect. Like they're not arguing, but kind of having a debate over it. And it's good to have a debate. Obviously, in this story, it's a very crazy time. These are one of the last remaining people on Earth, so I feel like for them to kind of have an interaction that's important. And that's kind of shown on page 16, as I said. And then secondly, on page 20, I feel like another important value is how humans being able to express themselves can allow for them to experience joy and happiness. So on this, Matt's talking about how Sideshow Bob got out on parole, and the Simpsons found out about that when they're at the movies, and it leads to a conversation between the different characters in the play. So I feel like they're able to express joy by having this conversation and by being able to express themselves and tell stories and share stories with each other. Something that I had to circle while reading the play was Kelsey Grammer's name, just because I didn't recognize who it was. He's the voice actor for Sideshow Bob, and I didn't recognize his name. When I looked him up on Google, I did recognize his face. He played in a Transformers movie, and I'm a Transformers fan, so I thought that was pretty cool that I knew his face, but I wasn't able to recognize his name. I feel like Mr. Burns, what it says about the value of theater is just how theater is very valuable just because of how unique and broad it is. A lot of times people kind of lump theater into a different category about some pre-modern time form of art that is sometimes people even think it's obsolete or needs something like that. But in this story, we see how unique and how broad it is, and how this play right here is a form of theater. So a lot of people wouldn't really categorize it as theater, but it's just showing how unique theater is. And this play also talks about the value of television, just because it's talking about a television show, The Simpsons, and just how broad of a impact television has been able to have recently, which is in part due to theater. I feel like humans are compelled to tell stories just because it's a way for them to express themselves. Obviously, and before social media became prominent and a major way of communicating, storytelling, I feel like, was a big way that people were able to kind of get their point across and have a way to express themselves and express their happiness. And for characters in this play, I feel like it does just that. It allows them to, storytelling allows them to express themselves and experience happiness, which I think is important, especially in the setting of the play. Lastly, two questions that I have for my peers is, how do they believe that theater will continue to evolve and develop over time? And secondly, how do they think that theater and television will be able to coexist as television continues to grow and get bigger and bigger?